Hey guys, welcome back. We left off last time with recording some data, and we're going to jump back into this. I did a little bit more typing. I didn't want you guys to have to sit through me typing, which is super boring, but we finished up the data section. By we, I mean I. And again, we're just communicating in this section just the numbers. So we left off with this. I wanted to communicate that I rotated the dogs through their groups. So not every dog does the same trick. The groups of 3 dogs rotate through both learning different tricks and using different motivations. So this one says when learning stay, the peanut butter training group averaged 4 trials to performance, with Dum Dum taking 3 practices. Again, dog name after the candy, not intelligence. Pee Wee learning the trick in 4 practices, and Stumpy, the short-legged explorer, in 5. Using Milkbones to learn stay, averaged 5 practices to successful performance, with Ice-T taking 4 practices, Skittles taking 5, and Overgrown Hamster taking 6. Using cheese to learn the same trick resulted in an average of 7 practices, with Salt taking 6 attempts, Pepper taking 7, and Come On Man Cajun Seasoning taking 8. So I dropped some of my parentheses around these names, mostly because I was just trying to type it fast. You'd want to maintain that consistently throughout your writing, but I'm kind of on a deadline, so I'm moving along quickly here. So we did the same thing with the lay down trick, and that's your data. The important things to note is it's still in past tense. I'm still not using pronouns, and well, that's not true. I'm using dog names, but I'm not using people. I, me, we, she, us, that kind of stuff. You want to avoid that kind of stuff. But you're not saying what the data means, and that's the important part. It's dry, it's data, but you don't say, so obviously training with cheese is the best way to train a corgi. That's not what we're doing here. We're just giving them the data. So you give all your data, just the numbers in a past tense narrative. Now we're going to jump down to analysis. Analysis, again, your spacing, maintain consistency there, but it's all going to be on a giant poster board. Doesn't really matter. Here's an analysis. Now this is a lot easier to digest than all of this. Some people like getting information this way, so we give it to them this way. Most people like getting information this way, so we give it to them this way. Sit, stay, lay down, dog names, motivation, peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. That's all the same. But the dogs rotate. Salt, pepper, and Come On Man Cajun Seasoning get peanut butter. Then it's Dum Dum, Pee Wee, and Stumpy get peanut butter. Then it's Ice-T, Skittles, and Overgrown get peanut butter. So everybody gets a shot at peanut butter at the motivation. But also, you'll notice that these guys rotate through these groups, so they get different treats each time, and they also all do the same tricks. And so that's a simple table where we start with the dogs' names and what they got, and you could certainly have a category at the bottom, perhaps it's averages that could fit. But this would be called Table 1 if you decided to title it. Data table. Lots of information, real quick. Now, here is a chart or a graph. If you guys want me to make another video showing you how to do this in Excel or Word, I certainly can. It's really easy to do, but I just plugged this into Excel and hit Insert Chart, and there we are. So puppy training treats averages. Probably could have come up with a better title. A title should be descriptive enough in a graph that they know exactly what you did. So puppy training treats averages, I think, is not great. That is not a great title. I could have done better. It should have been perhaps, what could we do? Number of practices. How could you word that? Number of practices, number of trials, training times versus motivation. That could have been a potential choice, would have been better. But some important things to notice about this. Number one, your y-axis is labeled. You have a title, and your x-axis is labeled. And so here, this came with Excel with this already built in. So that's nice. Sit, stay, lay down. All the blue is peanut butter, all the orange is Milkbones, all the gray is cheese. Are there other options for formatting that data? Absolutely there is. But we're going to work with this because this is what shot out of Excel. We added a y-axis label, super easy, format table, add axis labels, and you're done. Number of trials for a successful trick. So that lets people know exactly what they're getting here. And you can look at this and you can say blue bars are lower, well, almost lower. Lay down's got variation. Blue bars are lower than everything else. Orange bars are comparable and lower on this one. So if I'm going to train a dog, I'm going to train him with peanut butter or Milk Bones dog treats, but I'm not going to train him with cheese chunks because cheese chunks are my slowest learning dogs. More trials to mastery is your slowest learner. Fewer trials to mastery is your fastest learner. And so what you get with a graph, with a chart, is you get all of this in about 5 seconds. And that's really nice. So take your time building that. And if you hit hiccups in Excel, let me know, let your teacher know, and we'll work with you on that. So now we've got our data, and the important thing, kids will ask, what's the difference between data and analysis? Data is the numbers. Analysis is what do you do with the numbers? And that's the graph and the table. So now we jump down to a conclusion. Okay, so a conclusion is a really simple section, and really what you're just going to write is you're going to write what you learned from your experiment. So what you learned, was your hypothesis supported or refuted? Um, Suggestions for future research is a great place for that. And then you can also sometimes have modifications or errors. If the experiment didn't go exactly how you wanted it to go, which they usually don't, that's a great place to put that in your conclusion. And so again, you would want to erase all that when you're done, but we could start with that. We could say, something real simple in conclusion, right? One of those classic, sophomore in English writing things there. In conclusion, peanut butter is the best motivator for teaching a corgi puppy new tricks. We could say while, what was it, Milk Bones were a close second, peanut butter outperformed other, what should we call them? Food-based motivation? Food-based motivation methods? I don't know. We only did 3, but whatever. So that's a really simple conclusion, right? So what was our hypothesis at the beginning? Let's jump up here. Peanut butter will outperform milk bone. Cool. Okay, that's great. So we say, yeah, that's something real simple, right? These results support the hypothesis that peanut butter is the best thing ever made and everybody loves it, right? Butter is the best dog training tool and it's way more humane than a shock collar and we love it, right? Okay, blah, blah, blah. So let's see, was it, okay, suggestions for future research. So you could say, if you wanted to, don't have to have that in there, you could say future researchers should compare, what else should we compare? I don't know. What do you call it when you pet a dog? Positive motivation that's not food based. I don't know. Let's do that. What do you do? Petting a dog. I don't know. Whatever. Shock collar. I heard they learn quickly that way. And other treat varieties, right? There's not just Milk Bones. There's lots of other treat varieties for training dogs. And you could even say, obviously, there's a lot more dogs than corgis, right? But in my hypothetical world, I ran a corgi farm, so I just decided to do that. Modifications and errors, we're going to say it was a totally perfect experiment and nothing ever went wrong. And then in the bibliography, we are going to have APA citations. In my class, you've already actually done these, but if you change them, check out Purdue OWL. Really good website, just Google that, APA citations. That'll be really helpful, but the general format is going to be, author's last name, first initial, with a period, and then the date of the publication, and then the title of the publication. If you found it in a journal article, that will be italicized. Journal article of prestigious puppy training, yeah, of North America, something just ridiculous like that, I'm sure. And then still in italics, you'll have a volume number. This is the first volume ever published because it's a nonsense article, and it's in the, second edition or whatever, it's kind of that sort of crazy thing. So it's super easy to follow along with. And then a lot of things that are published nowadays, instead of doing the retrieve from URL, which is the whole HTTP www puppytrainingfordummies.com, they have a DOI. DOI is a digital object identifier, and Google that for yours. And unlike a URL, a digital object identifier is a number unique to a publication that will never ever change. And they're quick to find, and then that DOI goes here. It's a long string of numbers, and that's a quick crash course for APA citations. But if you have any questions on that, let me know. We're going to stop there for this video, and I hope it was helpful. My advice to you would be, don't wait until right before the science fair to start writing this, because if you come to us with problems now, your teachers and myself, we're going to be happy to help you out. If you come to us with problems at 7:30 in the morning, day of the science fair, then that's tough luck. You know, there's not a lot we're going to do there. So anyways, good luck, and I hope you found this helpful. I can post this document if you like to Edmodo, and it's yours if you want it. And just know it's different than a lab report. Little differences between this and a lab report. So best of luck. Thanks.